and of intense golfing, leg dragging, and dancing. Yes, just a reminder that this is as wildfires continue to
underwater, underwater, underwater. These 4 polls, all of them tell a consistent story, and that is Trump is on the negative side of the ledger.
Donald Trump took office, there have been numerous economic indicators showing this deterioration across the board.
What happens when a former president's economic fantasies collide with cold, hard reality on live television? Trump just found out the embarrassing way when Fox News accidentally fact-checked him in real time, showing the market crashing during his self-congratulatory speech. While he boasted about economic success, viewers watched the Dow Jones drop 644 points, the S&P sink 1.8%, and the NASDAQ plummet 2.6%, all displayed right next to his face. Was this Fox's subtle rebellion, or just hilariously bad timing? Either way, it exposed the growing gap between Trump's claims and economic reality that even his media allies couldn't hide. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. While South Carolina was going up in flames, our former president and current presidential candidate was busy practicing his perfect golf swing down in sunny Florida.
And of intense golfing, leg dragging, and dancing. Yes, just a reminder that this is as wildfires continue.
Trump's approval rating is down 5 to 7 points across 4 of these big polls. He's underwater on managing the economy, which is obviously what handed him
in South Carolina, while Trump golfs in Florida and J.D. Vance hits the slopes in Vermont.
That's right. The guy who once criticized Obama for playing golf during crises was caught on camera at his Mar-a-Lago resort teeing off while thousands of South Carolinians were being evacuated from their homes. Leadership at its finest, folks. But wait, it gets better. This isn't just some one-off scheduling mishap. When we zoom out, we see a whole administration with priorities more scrambled than Trump's tax returns. While wildfires raged, his running mate J.D. Vance was hitting the slopes in Vermont because nothing says we care about climate disasters like a ski vacation, right?
Take all this into consideration, it's no surprise that public consensus on the president's ability to do the things that he promised, like combat inflation, to reassure the public. Instead, what he does is he deflects blame, or he blames Joe Biden, who lost 2.6%. The 10-year Treasury yield slipped 6.6 basis points to 4.16%.
And where was FEMA during all this? Oh, they were busy getting their budget slashed by Elon Musk, Trump's new efficiency czar. Apparently the plan is to make disaster response so efficient it doesn't actually have to exist anymore. Genius. The hypocrisy meter explodes when you look at how Fox News covered this. Remember when Biden took a weekend at the beach? Fox treated it like he'd committed treason. Biden abandons Americans, they screamed, but Trump golfing while an entire state burns? Crickets. The double standard is so thick you could use it to build that wall he never finished.
He'd do day one, and lower prices, the other thing he'd said he would do on day one, but of course hasn't. It's sinking deeper underwater. Donald Trump took office, there have been numerous economic indicators showing this deterioration across the board.
This day and change has been the worst day of polling for Donald Trump during his entire second term in office.
Meanwhile, the administration was juggling multiple disasters like a clown at a birthday party and dropping every ball. While South Carolina burned, they were cutting the bird flu response team because reasons. And let's not forget the border security theatrics, complete with razor wire photo ops while actual border communities begged for real solutions. My favorite part is the clips of Trump telling everyone he's working harder than anyone in history, usually filmed right before or after he hits the links. The man has spent more time on golf courses than most golf pros. He's not a president, he's a golf influencer with nuclear codes. This physical absence from the real world perfectly mirrors his economic fantasy land. Trump is as disconnected from economic reality as he is from disaster zones.
Go look at Trump's net approval rating. CNN, you see it on this side of the screen, -5. Gallup, -6. Ipsos, -7. All of them have Trump in net negative approval rating, and the 3 in which we have a trend line, we see Donald Trump heading in the wrong direction. Underwater, underwater, underwater. These 4 polls, all of them tell a consistent story, and that is Trump is on the negative side of the ledger.
He's living in his own bubble where everything is perfect and tremendous, while the rest of us deal with the mess. Remember when your friend claimed they were crushing it financially right before their credit card got declined? That's basically what happened to Trump on national television, except instead of a waiter, it was Fox News who exposed his economic fantasy with their own graphics. Talk about awkward timing. While Trump stood there declaring, "We are setting records right now," during his economic speech, Fox News' own market ticker was having a complete meltdown right next to his face. The network accidentally created the most brutal cell phone in television history, a split screen showing Trump's economic fantasies colliding with economic reality in real time.
Pollsters that we can look at. Trump's net approval rating, the change since January. Look at this. Gallup, down 5 points. His net approval is negative. He is underwater like the Little Mermaid. 13 points they polled right at the beginning of his presidency, so not a big surprise that shows the worst change for Donald Trump.
The cringe factor hit maximum levels when Trump claimed America had been a laughing stock for years and years, all while viewers could literally watch the Dow Jones plummeting by 644 points right beside his head. I mean, who needs fact checkers when you've got Fox's graphics department accidentally doing the job? And poor Larry Kudlow, Trump's economic cheerleader, was desperately trying to blame the Biden economy for the crash, saying, "What's left of the Biden economy is slumping so badly, it's just slumping." Sure, Larry, except the market was tanking specifically because Trump had just confirmed new tariffs on Mexico and Canada. It's like blaming your roommate for the kitchen fire you started while they were out of town. The economic bloodbath wasn't limited to just one index either. The S&P 500 sank 1.8%, the NASDAQ dropped a painful 2.6%, and treasury yields were falling as investors ran for safety like they'd just seen an economic horror movie. All of this happened because Trump decided to start a tariff war with checks notes. Canada and Mexico are closest trading partners and neighbors. The beautiful irony is that Fox News, Trump's most reliable media ally, ended up providing the perfect live fact check without even trying. On one side of the screen, Trump claiming economic brilliance. On the other side, the actual economy having a complete breakdown in response to his policies. It was like watching someone brag about their cooking skills while the smoke alarm goes off and firefighters break down the door. Looks like America isn't buying what Trump's selling anymore. The polls are in, folks, and they're uglier than Trump's golf pants. CNN has him at -5, Gallup's showing -6, Ipsos says -7, and Quinnipiac has him at -4. That's underwater across the board. And on economic management, he's drowning 8 points below the surface. Even James Carville couldn't resist dunking on the Donald, calling it the worst day of polling for Trump during his entire second term in office. Ouch. The humiliation doesn't stop there. At recent town halls, Republican voters in Trump plus 18 districts aren't just disagreeing with his policies, they're booing and catcalling their own representatives. Turns out Americans can spot the difference between actual economic leadership and whatever you call shooting bogeys while the market tanks.